let's move on to what I would term the war on our farmers. They haven't been paid properly for their produce for years. Headlines have been across any number of media outlets for years. The story keeps coming up. Well, the Albanese government has decided they need something to make them look good and fast. So they say they're not cracking down on how poorly our farmers have been treated, but on how much Coles and Woolies are bumping up the price of our fresh produce while the farmers aren't charging more for it. Here's Albo today being like, oh yeah, this will make me look good.
Farmers are providing produce at cheaper levels, but that isn't being passed on to consumers and it's not good enough. We need to make sure that people are treated fairly and they get a fair go. It's not acceptable to see record profits at a time when people are doing it so tough.
Well, I don't think farmers would agree that they're producing at cheaper levels. They're just being ripped off blind, as they have for many years previous, Prime Minister. If you want to address this issue, address it at the root. Give our farmers a fair go. Here's Susan Ley pretty much saying the same as a member of the opposition.
This is all about bringing prices down, not reviewing what supermarkets are doing. Sure, that's an important part of the overall mix, but I tell you one thing Labor could have done, and that is not smash my farmers in the Murray-Darling Basin by taking water away from them.
That's it, Susan. Get to the root of the issues. How we treat our farmers, on whom we depend for our very lives in this country, is utterly disgusting. And here's one of those farmers by the name of Russ Mussolino taking absolute aim at where the problem really lies.
Yeah, Woolies this week to bluff the consumer. They got zucchinis at $1.83 each. I've never seen anything being retailed like this. If you put 4 or 5 zucchinis together, you weigh a kilo. Coles are at $6.90 a kilo. Their numbers work out the same. They're just bluffing the public. Since when do you sell a zucchini by each at $1.38 each to be on special?
Ross pointed out that the farmers get $2.20 a kilo. So we are not only being ripped off, but those farmers are most certainly being ripped off as well. Let's take a moment to remember what profits Coles and Woolworths clocked the last time they let us know how many billions of dollars they'd made off us. How much of that has gone into the pockets of farmers? Well, I don't think much. This reminds me of in 2019 when Coles and Woolworths were like, you know, our drought-affected farmers are doing very badly, so we're going to start charging 10 cents extra on the litre for our Coles and Woolworths milk, and that's going to go directly to those drought-affected farmers because we're doing it tough. So the consumer goes, oh, absolutely, I'm buying Coles and Woolies branded milk because I want to support our guys on the ground. Turns out those farmers were getting 1.4 cents extra per litre. It was complete furphy. The rest of those bumped up price profits went directly into the pockets of those kinds of Coles and Woolies and the profits that we just saw on our screen. It happens every single year. Nobody's done anything about it.
Well, there's a lot of administrative costs in all of these things.
Oh, you're so generous.
But I mean, these supermarkets, right, Coles and Woolworths, they told us, look, don't worry about corner stores disappearing because if you let us supply all of your groceries, we're going to give you amazing service and you're going to get great prices. Well, these days we get zero service and we're paying through the nose. But how happy was Anthony Albanese he's late to the party on cost of living, but he must have been so excited to be able to talk about it and point the finger at somebody else. And he was in North Queensland when he did it, so he got to wear the Akubra hat while talking about farmers. It was a good look for Albo.
Typical of Albanese, he really is not doing anything about it. I mean, the problem behind the problem is there is a duopoly. There's not enough competition. That's what's going on. I know Aldi and IGA are there, but they're not big. It's a duopoly. When you've got a duopoly, I really am very reluctant to ever recommend interference in the marketplace and regulation of the marketplace. We do it with banking. We've got the 4 pillars banking policy of the CBA and the ANZ and the NAB and Westpac, and they're not allowed to merge and they have to compete with each other. I don't know what it is a federal government does to create at least that level of competition. If there was that much competition where they had to bid to buy the produce from the farmers would be paid better. We would be ripped off less. Now, how you fix that up, I don't know, but there is a big duopoly and it's not healthy and it's not helping.